The worst part was looking at 5 years of my life and realizing I was still standing exactly where I started. Professionally, financially, personally. Nothing had moved. It was a Tuesday afternoon. I had one thing on my list that actually mattered, and that was to build a product page for my online store. One page, maybe 3-4 hours of real work. I opened Facebook instead. Not for 5 minutes, not because I needed to check something, just Facebook, you know. And before you judge me, you've done this. Today, probably. And here is the part that should concern you. I told myself, I have time. It's absolutely fine. I said that for 5 years. By the time the window got dark, I hadn't built anything. There was no page. I hadn't done anything. I had that specific, very personal anger at yourself that comes when you realize you wasted another day, another evening gone, another version of the same story. And the worst part wasn't the page. The worst part was looking at 5 years of my life and realizing I was still standing exactly where I started. Professionally, financially, personally. Nothing had moved. I had achieved a perfect record of starting things. Zero record of finishing them. I tried everything to fix it. I woke up at 5 a.m. I built a minimalist desk setup. I attended a seminar and told a 47-year-old accountant named Derek that I believed in him. Derek cried, by the way. Nothing changed. So I stopped buying solutions and I built one. This video is that solution. The complete breakdown of the 30-day reset, the system that changed everything for me. Not for a guru, not for Derek, for me, and now for you. Before I break down the system, I need to spend 3 minutes on something. Why nothing has worked. Because if you don't understand why you keep failing, you'll approach this the same way you've approached everything else and get the same result. Most programs tell you the problem is your habits, so you try to fix your habits. New routine, new app, new journal that costs 40 euros. I bought 4 journals, used 11 pages total, across all 4. The journals are still on the shelf, looking at me, judging me. And it works for about 4 days. Because the problem was never your habits. Here is the actual problem. And I want you to really hear this. You no longer trust yourself. Think about how many times you've told yourself you were going to change something, start something, fix something, and then didn't do it. My personal record was announcing the same goal on 4 consecutive January 1st. Same goal, 4 years. Different journal each time, obviously. I had a type. Every single time that happens, you make a deposit into a mental account your brain keeps. Tracking every promise you broke to yourself. Every time you said you would and didn't. My brain had so much evidence against me, it had basically built a case with exhibits. You know that voice in the back of your head, the one that says, sure you are, when you announce another fresh start. That's not your enemy. That's just your brain being completely rational based on the evidence you gave it. So the solution is not more motivation, not a better morning routine, not waking up earlier or buying a cleaner desk. The solution is rebuilding your brain's trust in you through 30 days of small non-negotiable actions that prove day by day that you keep your word now. That's the entire foundation of the 30-day reset. Not be productive for 30 days. Become someone who is capable of controlling themselves in a world that is specifically designed to destroy your focus and discipline every single day. So what is the 30-day reset? Let me tell you what it's not first. It's not a morning routine. It's not a habit tracker you'll use for 3 days or so. It's not a PDF with inspirational quotes, although I have 14 of those downloaded, never opened. They're in the folder called Important, next to a folder called This Time for Real. And it is definitely not Derek. The 30-day reset is a complete structured program divided into 4 phases. Each one attacks a different layer of the problem. Week 1 attacks the chaos, week 2 builds the structure, week 3 rebuilds the trust, week 4 locks it in permanently. And I want to be honest with you about the week 1. Week 1 is not fun. Week one is the part where you discover that without your phone, you have to sit with your own thoughts. For some people, that is fine. For me, it was like meeting a stranger who lived in my house. An angry stranger who had a lot of opinions about everything I'd been avoiding. It's not comfortable. I'm going to tell you exactly what that feels like, because every program that doesn't prepare you for the discomfort is setting you up to quit when it arrives, and it will arrive, usually around day 7. We'll get to that. Day 1 starts with the thing most people will want to skip. That's exactly why it's first. The things we most needed to do are always the things we most want to skip. I know this because I skipped this step the first 3 times I tried to reset my life and wondered why nothing changed. Turns out skipping the foundation and being surprised the building falls is a very human thing to do. I call it the life audit, and it is genuinely unpleasant. Here's what you do. You sit down, phone in another room, and you write honest answers to these questions. Where are you actually wasting time every day? Not where you think you waste time, where you actually do. What habits are currently destroying you? The ones you already know about. The ones you've been pretending aren't that bad. What do you constantly avoid? What tasks keep appearing on your list, like week after week, because you never actually do them? What have you been lying to yourself about? This one is the uncomfortable one, because everyone has something. I had several. What excuses do you repeat constantly? You know them. Write them down. Seeing your own excuses written in your own handwriting is one of the most clarifying things you will ever experience. Also, one of the most embarrassing. Mine took up an entire page. Actually, 1.5 pages. I had to get a second piece of paper, which was a moment. The life audit is not fun. But here is why it matters more than anything else in the 30 days. You cannot build a new structure on top of a foundation you've never examined. Most people skip this step. They jump straight to the routine, the habits, the tracker, and then wonder why they're back at day 1 in 2 weeks. After the audit, you build your first structure day, not a fantasy routine, not a schedule of a monk, a realistic one. The first time I did this, my realistic routine still had me waking up at 6 a.m., meditating for 20 minutes, working out, and reading for an hour, before 9 a.m. I lasted 2 days. Realistic apparently means different things to different people. Start smaller than you think you need to. You can always add. You cannot unfail day 3. Fixed wake-up time, fixed sleep time, movement, work blocks, phone limits, basics, honest, achievable. Day 1 is not about motivation. Day 1 is about taking control again, for the first time in however long it's been. Week 1 is called Detox and Awareness. And I want to be very clear about the goal of week 1. The goal is not productivity. I know every productivity video you've ever watched has told you to be productive immediately. Start strong, build momentum, hit the ground running. No. The goal of week 1 is to stop chaos. Most people are living in a constant state of mental noise. Mindless scrolling, constant notifications, chaotic sleep, a random dopamine hits every few minutes. Your brain has been trained to need constant stimulation. The moment there is silence, it panics. It reaches for the phone, opens an app, any app, just something. I once opened the weather app to avoid starting a task. I mean, I know what the weather is, I checked it anyway, twice. Week 1 attacks this directly. You reduce mindless scrolling, dopamine overload, random distractions, chaotic sleep. You introduce fixed wake up, fixed sleep, daily movement, structured planning, execution tracking. These are not complicated things, but they feel harder than you expect, because for the first time in a long time, you will be sitting with your own mind without constant escape. Some people feel anxious, some feel bored, some feel genuinely unwell for the first 2 days. That is not a sign something is wrong. That is a withdrawal, actual withdrawal from a stimulation addiction that the entire internet was designed to give you. And the people who designed it knew exactly what they were doing. They have neuroscientists and, of course, billions of dollars. You have a journal, you have it open. The system rebalances this. By the end of week 1, most people describe the same thing: quiet, mental quiet, for the first time in years. That quiet is the foundation everything else is built on. Week 2 is called structure and control. This is where the chaos of week 1 starts converting into something you can actually use. The focus becomes daily execution, routines, time control. And this one is important. Reducing emotional decision making. Most people make decisions based entirely on how they feel in the moment. Feel motivated, work. Feel tired, skip. Feel anxious, scroll. Feel like you should probably check your email, even though you checked it for 4 minutes ago and nothing has changed. But maybe something changed. Nothing changed. Week 2 trains you to operate on structure instead of emotion. You follow the plan whether you feel like it or not. Not because you're forcing yourself into misery, because you are proving slowly day by day that your decisions mean something now. This sounds simple. It's not simple. But it is simpler than explaining to your family for the 5th year in a row why nothing has worked. I found that motivating in a specific way. This is also where something interesting starts happening. People begin feeling mentally stronger, not because life got easier, because they started doing hard things and discovered they could. By the end of week 2, the structure isn't something you are following. It's something you're starting to become. Week 3 is called discipline and self-trust. And this is where something genuinely changes. Not on the outside, on the inside. The focus this week is on finishing, not negotiable execution. Keeping promises to yourself, especially when you don't feel like it. There's something I call discomfort tolerance. The ability to stay in difficult situations without escaping, to sit with hard work, to operate under pressure without collapsing into distraction. The modern version of collapsing into distraction is extraordinary. I have reorganized my desktop icons to avoid writing a single email. I have cleaned a kitchen I wasn't planning to clean to avoid one phone call. I once researched the history of the font I was using instead of writing the document it was in. 45 minutes. The font was Arial. There is not that much history. Most people have lost discomfort tolerance completely. The second something feels hard, phone, YouTube, coffee, anything except the thing. Week 3 rebuilds that tolerance deliberately. You do the hard thing. Not perfectly, not easily, but you do it. And here is what nobody tells you about that process. The confidence you've been looking for, the real kind, not the kind Derek sells you. Derek had feelings. Feelings are not a system. We've established this. It doesn't come from success. It comes from following through. Every completed task, every kept promise, every day you operated when you didn't want to is a deposit into a different account now. The one that says, I can actually do this. By the end of week 3, most people describe the same thing. They don't feel like they're forcing themselves anymore. They feel like someone who just operates this way now. That is identity change. And it happens through action, not intention, not a seminar, not Derek. Week 4 is called momentum and identity shift. By this point, the system is no longer something you're following. It's something you've become. People at week 4 describe the same things. They think clearer, they waste less time, they procrastinate less, they feel more in control. They also stop doing things like researching Arial, which saves considerable time. But the most important thing, and this is what separates the reset from every other 30-day program, is what happens to their identity. They no longer see themselves as someone who struggle with discipline. They see themselves as someone who has it. That shift changes everything because your behavior always follows your identity. When you believe you're someone who follows through, you follow through. When you believe you're someone who can't, and if you've spent years breaking promises to yourself, you believe you can't. Deeply, with evidence. Remember the case your brain built, with exhibits. Week 4 is where you start winning that case back. Week 4 is about making that identity shift permanent, not surviving 30 days, becoming someone who operates differently, permanently. And now I need to talk about days 7 to 12, because this is where most people quit. And if you know it's coming, you can get through it. I call it the wall. Here's what happens. The first few days of the reset feel manageable, sometimes even exciting. It's new, you have momentum. Then around day 7, the brain starts fighting back. The dopamine stimulation has been reduced, the distractions are gone, the structure is starting to feel uncomfortable in a way that motivation cannot fix. You wake up and you don't feel like doing any of it. Not a little unmotivated, completely flat, empty. Like someone removed the batteries. You will look at your non-negotiable list, the same list that felt completely manageable on day 2, and it will look like it was written by someone who hates you. It was written by you on a better day. Do it anyway. This is where people in normal programs quit. Because the motivation they started with has run out and they have nothing else to operate on. This is also the most important moment in the entire 30 days. because this is where the reset teaches you the single most valuable skill you will ever build: how to operate without motivation. You don't need to feel like it, you just need to do it. The structure exists precisely for this moment, not for when you're motivated, for when you're not. If you hit the wall and keep going, even badly, even slowly, you will come out the other side different. Not just more disciplined, more trustworthy to yourself. And you'll stop checking the weather app, mostly. That is the real breakthrough. And it only happens if you don't quit between day 7 and day 12. Let me give you the exact non-negotiables. These are the things done every single day inside the reset. No exceptions. No negotiating with yourself at 7 a.m. when you don't feel like it, and you will try to negotiate. You are very creative at 7 a.m. The arguments you will make to yourself for why today is different are genuinely impressive. My body needs rest. I'll do double tomorrow. The system says to listen to yourself. The system does not say that. I know because I wrote the system. 1. Wake up at a planned time, not roughly, exactly. 2. Daily movement. Walk, train, stretch, something that moves your body every single day. 3. Execution blocks without distraction, phone in another room, work done. 4. The daily scorecard, a short, honest check-in. Did I do what I said I would? Yes or no? 5. No mindless scrolling during work blocks, not reduced, eliminated. 6. The must-win tasks. Every day has one non-negotiable priority. It gets done first, before anything else. 7. Sleep structure, same time every night. 8. Daily reflection, 5 minutes at the end of each day. What worked, what didn't, what tomorrow needs. I know what you're thinking. This sounds like a lot. It's not a lot. It's just more than nothing, which is what most people are currently doing. I say this without judgment. I did nothing with a tremendous dedication for 5 years. Nothing, and I have a history. The point of this is not perfection. The point is rebuilding self-respect through consistency. Every completed day becomes evidence that you keep your word now. Look, I know this video has been long. You could have been on Facebook instead of you watched a man talk about journals and Derek for 20 minutes. That means something, possibly that you're ready. The 30-day reset is not the easiest thing you'll ever do. It's also not the hardest. The hardest thing is continuing to live the way you've been living, knowing you're capable of more, and watching years pass without changing anything. I know what that feels like. I lived it for more than 5 years. At the same desk with the same list, telling myself I have time. I did not have time. Nobody does. The difference is some people figure that out before the window gets dark. And I'm hoping you're one of them, earlier than I was. The complete system, the execution tracker, the daily scorecard, the structure, templates, the full accountability framework is inside Steel Power operating system on Skool. Link is in the description. The next videos in this series break down each phase in detail. Subscribe so you don't miss them. And if you see Derek, tell him it worked.